Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Not So Berry. This time, not really an episode. This is a preview, not a preview, but like a speed build of me building Rowan's apartment. So, in case you did not see, the last episode is officially the last episode for, Rowen being a teenager. I was almost gonna say her gen, but we already been 4 episodes into her gen. But anyways, so I just wanted to talk a little bit, just because I don't really talk in my cast videos or my speed builds. And also I want to talk a little bit about the series. So basically, I love Not So Berry with all my heart. And basically, in my personal playthrough, actually, Rowan's been a young adult for like 3 months. And I haven't filmed that far ahead, but I have, I believe, 4 episodes filmed ahead. But besides that, I really am excited to play through her generation. I feel like playing through Sages, I, learned a lot about, pacing and, also how to incorporate storytelling. And so, honestly, Sages Gen wasn't really my favorite. Min Gen really isn't any time my favorite. Yes, I've played through Not So Berry first 2-3 gens a couple times in my free time in the past couple years. Min Gen is not my favorite. It's a little difficult because you're starting out, you are kind of focusing on getting a lot of stuff done. However, I will say Min Gen would realistically be the easiest gen to start off with in terms of storytelling, because it honestly has the least requirements out of all the gens. Rowan's gen also doesn't have a crazy amount of requirements. I would say for Rowan's gen, though, it's kind of more difficult because in her gen, you are literally just like constantly having to do like romantic stuff, which is difficult because especially if you're incorporating storytelling, like if it was a couple maybe, but like you need to literally like be like constantly having strong relationships with Sims up to like I think like 10 Sims. Some of those Sims you have to date like a bunch at the same time. So like that's crazy. And it takes really long to do it. I mean, if I want to speedrun it, I definitely could, and I have, but obviously this is a YouTube series. I'm not going to do that. But anyways, I feel like I learned a lot from Sage's generation, especially in terms of content creation, because I think one of my first videos was the first episode of Not So Berry, and looking back, oh my god, the absolute cringe. I'm sorry, I love my videos, but that was horrendous. Not only did I not know how to create thumbnails, my mic was horrible. It still is, but at least I wasn't using a headphone mic. So, improvements. But anyways, I really want to focus more on the next gens on the storytelling aspect. And I mean, like, obviously, like, we're gonna focus on, like, the requirements, but, like, I want to focus more on, like, not only the descriptions given for The Sims, because I feel like, obviously, like, people don't need to, but, there are certain descriptions that are given that people don't tend to follow through with, which again is absolutely fine. But not only is that, first of all, easy to do if you're going for storytelling, not that I want to take the easy route, I like to come up with my own storylines, but point being that I prefer to combine the requirements and create storytelling based off that. So like, Rowen needs to get married as an elder. Okay, gonna do something that forces her to get married as an elder, and not make it just a random choice that she makes. Rowen doesn't have a good relationship with her child. There's reasons for that, i.e., sorry if that doesn't make sense, the reason being the fact that she is a workaholic, and that's actually specifically the reason that's given in the description. I would probably expand on that more. I also specifically want to expand on Rowen being a workaholic, more in the aspect of how it affects her relationships and her mental health negatively, but don't want to spoil anything because I've already delved a little bit into that in my recordings. But the point being, I am so excited to start filming this, especially because I love the later generations, and in my personal playthrough I've never fully played through the entire challenge. I've only, just started off in a random generation and played from there. But I am so excited to finally be, getting through all the generations. And I will say, I do think I prefer Nelson to other challenges just because it feels less demanding, if that makes sense. Like, to me, a lot of the generations in Not So Berry feel like they have a lot of demands, but honestly, compared to other challenges, it doesn't. And that's better for me, because not only is that easier on me as the person actually playing through it, but it's easier because I don't feel the need to be speed running through everything, which is also part of my issue. The amount of episodes for let's call it Generation 1 Season 1 of Not So Berry is 17, which isn't too bad, but that made me so frustrated with myself because it feels way too short compared to how long I feel a generation should be. And I think that partly has to do with the fact that I wasn't doing any storytelling. I also was speed running through it, not purposefully, but I just was. And I also just didn't really enjoy it, and I just kind of wanted to get it over with. And so I wasn't really focusing on the generation as much, and of course I love Sage, but I feel like I rushed it so much, and I really don't want to. As much as I want to get to the later generations, I really want to start focusing on the current generations I have, and giving them some love. I'm gonna talk about the build for once, actually, so far in this video. So as you can see, I'm using a lot of custom content in this build, and I normally do use some custom content in my build. I am a custom content lover. I have so many gigabytes of it in my files, but I specifically love including build custom content into my Sims builds because it feels like it's able to give more life. And also, these are my personal builds. I will use as much custom content as I want. But basically for this, pretty straightforward. I was looking to incorporate as much red as I could. And in terms of my opinion on how Rowen is as a sim, I kind of affected the decorating choices. So to me, Rowen reads as a little more classy, and feminine, but in a girl bossy work way, if that makes sense. And also she is moving into the city. She, is kind of, finally getting her own place. She's lived in her family's house her entire life. And not that she's hated that, but her only space to decorate was her room, which didn't leave a lot of room for her to express herself. She was also a teenager, so she was just kind of learning who she was as a person. And she is still young, but she is really wanting to, I feel like, her as a sim, and we'll learn more about this, and I don't want to give too many spoilers, but I feel like she is very driven, very ambitious, and I feel like that causes her to try to really focus on stuff. And so I feel like at this point in her life, she's moving into her apartment, she's decorating it. I think it's decorated well because I made it, but it's also, really fun to build things for your Sims because it really, really well reflects their personalities. And I love to do that because Sims personalities, aren't just, depicted through their actions, their appearance. It's also depicted through their environment that they choose to create. And so through that, you see a lot of this stuff in her apartment. I purposely made it look very, very clean. I kind of tried to keep the clutter to a minimum. I kept it to a minimum. I kept it, if there was any, focus in the kitchen. Especially because I feel like Rowen isn't like a cooking person. She wouldn't be as like focused of like putting that stuff away. And stuff, but like in later generations, like Gen 4, where they're like a parent and stuff and they have a big family, sure, they're not going to have a messy house, but there's going to be more clutter because they're going to have a large family, which is, I guess, spoilers for the later gens, but not really. This challenge has been out for years. But point being, I really appreciated being able to represent Rowen through her apartment. And if you see in the bathroom, I'm also including some details I love to do. Like, I included some makeup and stuff there because, again, Rowen is a feminine sim. And even though most of the sims I've had on my channel are feminine, I am in later generations going to include some that aren't. And so I really love to like really encompass that, like make it more obvious and overt in terms of like what their personality is. But besides that, one thing that I did not show in this video, because I believe I built this not in the Not So Very Save, although I could be wrong. I ended up going and including all of the photos Rowen has that she's taken of her friends, with her family, and I had to decorate the entire apartment with them. I love taking photos. I'm gonna need to figure out a better way to like take photos while also not having every single wall covered by them. If anyone has any suggestions, leave a comment down below. But anyways, I really love this family a lot. You'll see in one of the first episodes of her as a young adult in this apartment, they are interacting more with each other. And the twins, they're not main sims, they're like side main sims, but I ended up having to give the twins another makeover because I really did not like the makeover I gave them. I'm so sorry. I did not like it, but besides the point, I really love this apartment. I've had this done for like months. As you can see, my loading screen is fall themed. I think I filmed this in like October, maybe early November time. And currently when I am doing this voiceover and I've edited this video, it is, I believe, like almost the middle of February. But yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited to play with this generation, move forward with the stories, more better, I would say, play out the storylines I have in mind. And not that I want to talk about it since this is a not so berry video, but I am gonna try as well as I can to keep Star Sign Legacy continuing, but I'm a little bit losing interest in it, so I'm gonna need to figure that out. But besides that, I am going to leave you off with the music. I appreciate you guys. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and click that little notification bell so you get notified every single time I upload. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, goodbye everyone.